Chords and Coffee, number 20. Take you a quick drink. Last time we did a video, I started that video with Something, the song Something. That was a little piece of that. And it's still a work in progress, but there was enough folks on there that said, hey, show us what you're doing, and I'm happy to do that. That's what we're going to do right now. If you want to see an entire breakdown of the entire tune, totally happy to do that. I think we need some sort of metric to convey interest, and what seems to be the best metric in this environment is number of views, because the videos that seem to, speak to people and help folks are the ones that have the most views. So if you want to see if you want me to break down an entire arrangement of the Beatles song Something, happy to do it. I mean, let's just say 200 views by Monday. This video comes out Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Getting 200 views by Monday has been, a pretty standard number of views for videos that have a lot of commentary and seem to generate the most interest. So, in the effort to not waste your time, how about 200 views by Monday and we'll do the whole tune? Otherwise, we can move on to something else, and I'm happy to do it. In the meantime, let's take a look at this song called Something by the Beatles. It's in the key of C. The opening lick is this. And all that is high E string, 5/8. It's like straight out of the pentatonic box. So 5/8, 5, 6, 7, 8. Genius. Simple. Beautiful. Right? George Harrison. Come on. So we got to play that with chords. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an F major 7. Normally you would make this chord with your ring and your pinky finger, sort of acting as the human capo. But in order to facilitate playing the melody, we're going to have to break the rules a little bit and play it this way. Index finger covering the 5th fret of the G, of the B, and the high E. And then middle finger coming down here where normally your ring finger would be on the 7th fret of the D string. So you got an A minor there, right? Now you're going to place your ring finger on that F, which is on the A string of the 8th fret. So just like that. Pause that if you like. And then, so it's like a C major 7 with a bar on it, but I'm only covering the G, B, and the E strings. You with me? So I'm going to play that opening little, and that little lick one more time is on the high E string. That is 5, 8, 5. So now the next part, which is that note, we're just going to make a good old-fashioned E flat, and I'm barring straight across here with my index finger from the 6th fret all the way over to the high E, right? And I've got my ring finger on the 8th fret of the D. Pinky is on the 8th fret of the G. B string is being held down by the index finger bar right there. And then same thing with the high E. So, right? Now here comes the stretcher. You can do it. I promise you can do it. You might have to limber up your hands a little bit, but it's worth it because this is a really cool chord. This guy right here. It's like super duper G. Here's what we're doing. Index finger on the low E string, 3rd fret. And then nothing on the A. Nothing on the D, honestly. The D is ringing, but sometimes my index finger will dampen that. But when I'm consciously trying to make it, it's ringing open. So A is dead, D is ringing. Middle finger is on the B note, which is the 4th fret of the G, and then pinky is on the 7th fret of the high E string. So I'm making this octave here. that is, discomforting, if that hurts to make, move your thumb around. Remember, a lot of times this guy's the culprit. And you may have to take a minute to find it. I didn't just walk up to this chord, shake hands with it, and say, hey, man, let's go down there and get a hot dog. No, I mean, this was uncomfortable the first few times I played it, but then the more I started messing with it, this is good. All right, so B string is also open. So I've got an open D and an open B, and I'm playing this octave here. So, and then this guy. We talked about this in the last video, but here it comes again. This is going to be a ring finger. This is very much like you're making a G chord with a human capo on it. So ring finger on the 8th fret of the low E. Middle finger really isn't doing anything. Hanging out. Trying not to be offensive, what the middle finger's trying to do right now. And then index finger on the 5th fret, starting on the D string, the G string, and the B string. So essentially making that C major triad right there on the D, G, and B, 5th fret. And then pinky is on the 8th fret of the high E. So that whole sheboing is... Now honestly, that's probably the most stretchy, complicated part of this arrangement. But it comes up enough to where the return on investment is awesome. And also, I'll tell you, I use those chord grips a lot, especially if I'm playing in a situation where I'm the only guitar player, or I am, trying to fill in as much information as humanly possible. It's nice to be able to have those big grips like that, because those wide intervals sort of evoke melody and chord melody, even where it might not even be intentional, right? So they're pretty. And then once we get to the something in the way, all I'm doing is I'm just playing this melody, holding that C chord, which is what that last chord was that I just taught you. Well, what's that? Super simple. So pinky on the 8th fret, remember in this big G shape, right? This guy's not doing anything. And then what's going to happen is the pinky's going to come off, and then the middle finger is going to come down here to the 7th fret of the high E, playing that B. So something in the way she moves, just like that. And then now I'm moving this shape down here. Again, these guys are not doing anything. The only thing that's moving is the middle finger down to the 8th or 6th fret of the high E. So one more time. Now right here we've got the attracts me like no one. And then from that I'm playing this good old octave, sort of Wes Montgomery style, just without the thumb. And by the way, on my right hand, I am using the pick and my fingers, and we've talked about this on a few lessons. But essentially, all I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of plucking together with these things, just because I like the way it sounds. So one more time, something in the way she moves attracts me like no one. So what that is I'm playing on the 5th fret of the G, not playing anything on the B, and the reason how I'm doing that is my index finger is on the 5th fret of the G, and its arch is sort of dampening. Not sort of, it is dampening the B string, and then the pinky is on the 8th fret. So this octave. Whoa. And then to an F. So attracts me like no other. And this is just a good old F Green Day bar chord, right? Where I've got my index finger on the 8th fret of the A, either pinky or ring finger, whatever you like, on the 10th fret from the D, the G, and the B. Right? And then I go, and what is that? So what that is sort of that Wind Cries Mary kind of thing. right? That is, I'm going from 10th fret on the A to the 12th fret and playing that, you know, kind of Steve Miller thing. So 10 to 12 on the A, and then barring and making that little triad like we just had a second ago on that F, which is the D, the G, and the B. And then this, think of this as like the F shape for the C chord, but I've got the E in the bass. And I'll give it to you right now. It's index finger on the 7th fret of the E, or of the A string, playing that E note. So index finger on the 7th fret of the A, playing the E note. And then I'm building a C major chord underneath it. So middle finger on the B string, 8th fret, ring finger on the 9th fret of the G, and then pinky on the 10th fret of the D. So one more time. And this one I'm just going straight down. So A, D, and then plucking the G and the B. And then again, good old Green Day bar chord, but this time I'm only playing these 3 notes, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds here, but here's the notes. 5th fret of the A with the index finger, ring finger on the 7th fret of the D, pinky on the 7th fret of the G, and that's all I'm doing. So here's what we gotta do. So we're gonna go. Now what I have found on that little chromatic, and that's on the G string, and I'm just going straight from 7, 6, 5, but for some reason I can't do it with one finger. That feels better, because if I do that straight down, I don't know, it's just not jiving with my hand. And this feels better when I go pinky on the 7th fret of the G to middle finger on the 6th fret of the G, and then slide the middle finger back to where then where the ring finger was on the D string, the pinky takes over at that point. So one more time here, just to explain myself good here. From this shape, index finger on the 5, ring on the 7, index finger 5 of the A, 7 of the D, and then G string, 7th fret of the pinky. And then middle finger comes down here on the 6th fret of the G, and then middle finger slides down to the 5th fret while pinky takes over from ring finger on the 7th fret. And then, so something in the way she, and that is ring finger on the 9th fret of the A, the index finger is on the 7th fret of the D, and then the G string has the 9th fret with the pinky. She, and then that little fun thing, that is, I'm just playing the low E and the G string. So low E is 3rd fret, and then the G string is the 4th fret on the B, and then up to sort of this, so that's like a G major, and then like an A minor. So low E, 5th fret, 5th fret on the G as well, and then these are chromatic. So, wait, just like that. So like 5, 6, 7, and then this next part. So think of this as an A minor, and I'm playing 5, 7 on the D string, and then like an A minor shape. And that is 7, 8 on the G string, and then 5 on the B. Back to 7 on the G string, and then this. And this is that major minor 7. Could talk about that for a while, but that's, you know, so A minor, no, A minor major 7. That's what it is. Not major minor 7. A minor major 7. Yeah, that's like the Stairway to Heaven chord. Like that kind of thing. So when you get to that, That is middle finger on the 6th fret of the D, and then index fingers laid across the 5th fret just to the B string, so only the G and the B string. And I do this little lick, and that is from the B string on the 5th fret. I trill on the 6th fret with my ring finger. So, and then 7th fret on the G, and then 5th fret on the G, and then play the 6th fret of the D. And then you know I believe in how. So that is 5 on the B, 7 on the G, while I'm holding down this bar on the 5th fret. And then hit that A minor again, and then a good old D9. If you don't know D9, here it comes. Middle finger on the 5th fret of the A, index finger on the 4th fret of the D, and then ring finger on the 5th fret of the G, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the B. And when I did it the first time, I did those little sort of inversions of that chord, where you're going from that D9 to an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, right? Which is index finger on the A string of the 9th fret, ring finger on the 10th fret of the D, and then middle finger on the 9th fret of the G, and then pinky on the 10th fret of the B. And then, whoop, that one way up there. And this guy is index finger on the 15th fret of the A, and then ring finger on the 16th fret of the D, pinky finger on the 16th fret of the G, and then on the B string, it's the 15th fret with your middle finger. And that's like a D7 or D13, way up there. And then back to... You ought to pause this a lot. I am happy to, if you want, comment below and say, PDF, please. And I will PDF these chords out. I think if I were learning this, and as I've been, by the way, this is something I came up with on my own. I think it'd be really helpful to have that, and I'm happy to give that to you. But if you don't need it and this is helpful, awesome. So again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you want to see the rest of this, and this is something you want to work on, awesome, let's do it. 200 views by Monday. Your comments and your encouragement and just the community that we're building, it means a lot to me. And I love it. It's been fun to connect with you guys, and let's just keep doing this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for another Chords and Coffee.